Hello, and welcome to a new episode in my series, Virtual Travel. Today we will talk about Machu Picchu. I will give you a short guide about things you could do there and basically a lot of highlights. Just shy of 600 years ago, a small plateau between two lushy forest peaks high in the Andes became a building site for the Inca Empire's greatest city. The citadel in the clouds was abandoned only 100 years later, but Spanish invaders never found Machu Picchu. It was left to nature before explorer Hiram Bingham caught wind of it on the expedition in 1911 and decided to investigate. A hidden city protected by mountains and still wonderfully inaccessible other than by foot or train, Machu Picchu is now a new seven wonders of the world. While doing this research, I was trying to understand if Machu Picchu is really gonna live up to its name. The short answer is yes, for two reasons. Firstly, its buildings, the temples, palaces and houses, are in a remarkable preserved state. The Spanish never ventured up the mountains and so it's left untouched. The second reason would be that it's out of view from the valley, and there you hear the roar and churn of the Urubamba River, which is 500 meters below. A protective wall of mountains surrounds you, and this fades in and out of view as the mist falls and lifts. You have the distinct feeling of being high up in the world and part of a very well kept secret. Researching for this video, I found three highlights: the Intihuatana stone, the royal tomb, and the fact that you need to climb Guanapitu. The Intihuatana stone is a carved pillar on a square stone base, and that remains a testament to the Incas' knowledge and skill as astronomers. The name translates to the hitching post of the sun. The corners point to the four cardinal points, and the stone still accurately indicates the positioning of the sun. The royal tomb. This is a cave-like building and is thought to be where sacrificial or burial rituals were performed, and there have been more than 100 skeletons excavated here. Just to the left of the temple lies a series of ceremonial baths fed by a sophisticated aqueduct system. You can climb Guanapitu, the witch's hat of a mountain that stands guard behind Machu Picchu, as long as you book it well in advance as part of your admission ticket. Your ticket will show your allocated time slot to start the walk, and it takes about an hour to reach the top. Even though I would not recommend this path if you're not a fan of heights, but if you manage to get to the top, that's gonna be a reward, because it's the best place to see Machu Picchu from above. Now let's talk about where to stay in Machu Picchu. I would highly recommend an overnight stay at Machu Picchu or Aguas Calientes if you want to get to experience the ruins early in the next morning. The Machu Picchu Sanctuary Lodge is the only hotel close to the entrance of Machu Picchu, a mere stroll away. Staying here ensures your best place to avoid traveling time at the start and the end of the day, though with convenience comes at a considerable price tag. Aguas Calientes has a good range of hotels. The buses start to roll out of town up to Machu Picchu early enough for you to arrive just after the gates open, and well ahead of visitors coming by train. Staying locally also is helpful if you want to visit the site more than once. Mist clinging to the peaks can be completely bewitching, but visibility can be changeable 2,400 meters above sea level. A second visit can give you a completely different set of conditions to enjoy as you explore the architecture and time to climb Guanapitu. Now let's talk about how you get to Machu Picchu. Your most common route to Machu Picchu is flying into Peru's capital city, Lima, before transferring to an internal 1 hour and 15 minutes flight to Cusco. Cusco sits at the base of the Andes in the southeast of Peru. It was the capital of the Incas and is leaping off point for Machu Picchu and the Sacred Valley, and is the one-time heartland of Inca Empire. You can reach Machu Picchu from Cusco on train or by trekking. A small town, Aguas Calientes, has sprung up into the valley below Machu Picchu. It serves as the disembarking point for the train or a gathering place after you've completed the Inca Trail and descended from Machu Picchu. The buses that leave from here to travel up the windy road cut into the mountainside to the entry gates of Machu Picchu leave as early as 5 a.m. I know you're wondering when is the best time of day to visit. Well, Machu Picchu is often busiest between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. when most train and bus visitors arrive. So the opportunity to see the site in the morning or at dusk could allow you to have a more meditative experience and better light for photography. You can travel to Machu Picchu by rail or by foot as mentioned. If you travel by rail, the train journey from Cusco to Aguascalientes offers you the chance to see dramatic natural scenery as you make your way through lush valleys and past rugged peaks following the course of the Uramba River. You can also arrive to Machu Picchu by foot, and that is by doing trekking. With group and private treks ranging from 1 to 12 days, you can cover the Inca trails, Salcantay, known as the alternative Inca trails, or the mountain lodges of Peru route at a pace that suits you once you've had time to acclimate to the altitude. But you should keep in mind there are regulatory restricting the number of walkers allowed on the Inca trail. There are only 500 people allowed to start the Inca trail trek to Machu Picchu each day, and this includes the porters. Permits sell out notoriously fast in advance, so it's essential to plan your trip as early as possible if you want to walk the Inca trail. Just an advice on the altitude. Machu Picchu stands at around 2,450 meters above sea level and Cusco at 3,400. At these heights, there's 20% less oxygen in the air. In vast majority of the cases, symptoms of altitude sickness are very mild, a little sleepiness or slight foggy head, and wear off after a day or two, but it can make doing anything energetic feel like a struggle. When it comes to insurance, it's important to check whether your travel insurance will cover you for treks at altitude, especially if you've previously bought a policy to cover you for a number of trips throughout the year. When it comes to eating, Aguascalientes has a plentiful selection of restaurants to suit your taste and wallet. One of the current favorites is Indio Feliz, an award-winning restaurant serving Peruvian dishes with a French twist tucked away in a side street. You're wondering which is the best time to visit Machu Picchu? Well, July and August is peak season, when the highest number of visitors are taking on the Inca trails or wandering around Machu Picchu. The Andean foothills are at their driest at this time of the year too, with the rainy season taking place between November and March. You should take note that the Inca trail is closed to walkers during the month of February, so restoration work can take place. I would suggest you need at least 9 days in Peru to take in Machu Picchu and the surroundings Inca ruins, with time to explore Cusco before or after. But you should also visit Peruvian Amazon, Lake Titicaca or Colca Valley. And that's all the time that we have for today. Please remember to subscribe, like, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you. Thank you. Till next one. Bye.